Fiji, of course, is much shorter. And as Inoki said, we both attended a Business Council meeting in Brisbane last year. Billy says July, Inoki says August. I can't remember, it was last year. But I had been thinking about Fiji in my capacity as the Shadow Minister for Foreign Affairs. And I knew the history. But what I couldn't understand was how it was that despite the government tensions, despite the fact that Australia had sanctions on Fiji, Australia was still Fiji's largest trade and commercial partner. Australia was the largest investor in Fiji. We had 50,000 Fijians living in Australia. 350,000 Australian tourists came to Fiji every year. They were really listening to their government, weren't they? 350,000 Australians were coming to Fiji. We had so many common interests. We're tied together by geography, by history. There is a really deep affection between the people of Fiji and the people of Australia. We love each other, we understand each other, we're friends. Yet, at a government level, there were tensions. And I thought, if we get into government, I need to understand this relationship better. And Frank Bjorn said, you must come to the Business Council meeting in Brisbane. I didn't have to be asked 3 times, you know. The first time I was asked. And I listened to the feistiest speech I had ever heard from a foreign minister who pulled no punches, and I thought, wow, have we got a problem? And as I saw the Parliamentary Secretary leave the stage, I thought, here's an opportunity, and I wove my way through the crowd, and I met the Foreign Minister, and I asked if we could spend some time together to talk about what we could do to repair the relationship between Australia and Fiji. And that night, I spoke at the dinner. I sat next to Inoki and I spoke at the dinner. I threw away my departmental notes, no offence, Glenn or anyone, I just threw them away. And I spoke very much from the heart as to what I thought the people of Fiji and the people of Australia would want from their respective governments. And so I came back to Canberra and we developed a policy that I must say Prime Minister Abbott embraced wholeheartedly. And that was, if we were to be elected to the Government of Australia, we would seek to normalise relations with Fiji. I knew it would never be the same. It would never be like it was before 2006. I wanted it to be better. I wanted a stronger, deeper, more diversified relationship with Fiji, knowing what Fiji had done in the intervening years, respecting the position they'd found themselves in, but acknowledging that Australia had changed as well. In fact, our region, the globe, has changed. So I wanted to normalise the relationship, but to a better, stronger relationship. Well, as Providence turned out, we won the election on the 7th of September, and Prime Minister Abbott was very keen for me to start work on the relationship with Fiji. And I recognised that Fiji was somewhat reluctant, and there wasn't the trust there that one would have hoped. So when Inoki and I met on the side of the UN Security Council, the General Assembly week in New York, about the 22nd of September last year, we discussed a lot of issues, and I appreciated there was much work to be done. So we agreed to meet again in October, and Prime Minister Kububola came to Sydney. And we sat down and went through a list of things that Australia would be prepared to do if Fiji were interested in accepting our offer, and we thought that that would be a way forward. And we looked at defence, trade, commerce, people-to-people links.